It's pretty simple tonight, folks. Actually, it's very, very simple. This weekend's NFL was a debacle. Who's the front runner for the NFL MVP? And why? Why is that the front runner? That's what I want to know. How about some Heisman thoughts? You got any Heisman thoughts? I do. My guys do. We're going to bring you some thoughts, okay? And of course, tonight we make our college football playoff predictions because we won't be back till after the new year, and that shit will be well underway. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Don't forget to use that chat to give us a hard time.
National Streaming Sports is brought to you in part by BetUs.com, designed for true fans. NFL odds, Week 1 and futures, college football odds, including Heisman Trophy favorites and playoff odds, NBA odds of division winners and playoffs, Major League Baseball playoff and World Series odds, the National Hockey League Conference playoffs and Stanley Cup odds, and boxing wagers. Betting opportunities include versus the spreads and outright winners, also during the game. Use our link on our website, nessp.info, the Bet Us Opportunities webpage, for a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. Must be 21 years old, and remember, bet responsibly.
You're going to call anyone that loves you. You're going to ask them if you can use their card to buy concert tickets because your card's maxed out. Okay. If they say yes, you get the tickets.
I can't call my parents because they already think I make bad financial decisions. Well, so I think I'll call one of my friends.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous. I feel tingly.
What's your nut answer?
Giovanna?
Yes.
I was on SeatGeek earlier and I saw 2 tickets for Olivia Rodrigo at a really, really, really good price. So
Oh my god.
I maxed my credit card out by accident last week. Do you think I could use yours to buy the tickets?
Oh my god, yes.
Did I?
Yeah, you got the tickets. You got the tickets.
I just want tickets. We're gonna go to the concert together. Giovanna, I'll call you later. Love you. Thanks for picking up. Oh my god. I'm going to see Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes, thank you, SeatGeek.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, it's time to experience the O's on the Original Sports Podcast.
Hey, did y'all know Sizzle went to the Cleveland game last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was the man sitting up there watching all that chaos go on down low. Did you get a nosebleed up there or what? How was it?
No, you don't get nosebleed that high. The alcohol rushes to your head a little bit faster, but I was okay.
I'll bet you were. I'll bet you were. Hey, how was the IUP trip? Sizzle took his kid up to see Indiana University of Pennsylvania, or otherwise known as I Usually Party.
Yeah. In the top 10 for party schools, they definitely changed. It was a pleasure going down memory lane. Showed them where I hung out at the Duquesne beer distributor right behind my apartment complex and Arby's on the corner. Yeah, you know, it was really fun.
I'll bet it was. Waddy, did you hang out at a beer distributor when you were down there at what the hell is it called? Wesleyan, West Virginia Wesleyan?
No, there weren't many places to hang out down in Buckhannon, West Virginia.
I got stuck there one time. I ever tell you that story?
No.
This might not be the place for it, but yeah, I got stuck there for a week one time with a bunch of pledge brothers. Yeah, it was
wow.
Straight chaos. Straight chaos. I had fun. I love when you told us the other day that you were benching what, 320 or some shit and squatting 5 bills.
Man. Yes, sir.
5 bills. Waddy came out all jacked playing corner.
Yeah. I wasn't jacked, but I was definitely I was strong. There's no, you know, I'm gonna take that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Chops, what was your max? You hit the bench, Kiski area, you lay on your big ass back, you sit down, you grab the bar. What are you banging off that chest?
Well, the most I ever did for reps was 315. I would do 315 on my last set for 10, but I never went higher than that. At Clarion, I did 225 for 31.
Woo!
Yeah, straight. That was it. I remember we had a lift-a-thon at Kiski, and we used to have the 1,000-pound club.
Yeah,
we used to get 3 lifts. I got it in squat and deadlift alone.
Damn.
I was always that I was always pretty strong.
Did you
But I
play
had
at Clarion?
What's that, man?
Did you play at Clarion?
No, I was going to, but I didn't. Not on. No, man. It was I was doing the same thing as Mark went through spring ball, but didn't get into the season. Just did a lot of mess around and party and stuff.
Because you're hanging out at the Roost.
Man. yeah, I can't even lie, dude. Yeah,
and eating them Eddie dogs late at night. Yes, you were.
Good times.
Oh,
Good
God.
times.
Shane, what was your best 40 time?
Best 40 time, 4.5.
Yeah. What grade was you in? What grade was you in?
That was probably my senior year.
Damn. No wonder you
I
made
run.
a big. Didn't you make
One
the big
thing
30 tree?
Huh? No. You know who took my spot? Bo Orlando's brother. He went to Berwick.
Oh, so did Bo, though.
Yeah.
Bo's actually the AD up there now. Do you know that?
Up at where?
Up at Berwick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How about
Yeah,
how about on this? Do you lift hard?
No. Didn't need to.
No. He was all athletic. So here's Waddy. Here's Waddy playing. Didn't you play corner?
Yes. And they didn't have no choice because you got Chris Warren barreling down on when they do that little tall sweep. Chris Warren coming at you. You better have some girth to you.
Boy, that dude could play, huh? That was back in the day.
Yes,
they used to find those guys anywhere back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Is that why you hate the toss sweep?
Chris Warren used to play for Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's high school?
No, that's college. He
Oh,
played at Ferrum. He went to UVA,
okay.
then he transferred to Ferrum. I think he got in a little trouble or something. I'm not sure.
What kind of trouble?
I don't know.
Well,
hey,
fellas.
Woo! How about this boy that won a Heisman? What do you think? What do you think of this boy?
Well deserving.
Yeah.
Best player. It's for the best player.
I mean, yes. Thank you.
You know what I mean? Jason White wasn't the best player when he won. Who else? I got a list of names if we want to do that. But
how about Manziel? Was he the best player when he won? Jameis Winston, I mean. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Probably not. But see,
yeah, I have to see who else was out there. But like I keep saying, I think that it just was the perfect season for him to do everything that he's done and win. You know what I mean? Like usually we know, like, oh, Jim Smith is the top receiver. Fred, this is the top cornerback. I don't know any of these guys.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like that Nash kid. What's his name? Nash, the kid who plays at San Jose State.
I don't know
He was number one in every receiving category in the country. Number one.
Yeah.
I want to say his name was Nick Nash.
Yeah.
And he was number one in every receiving category.
That's what I mean.
Nick Nash,
but
Paddywhack.
to me,
hey, Hunter.
The one thing with the whole Heisman thing is it's supposed to be the best player, not that because I think here recently we kind of got stuck with the best quarterback, and that's kind of where the thing was going, and that's not what the award is. I think it's the best player.
I agree. I would definitely agree with you.
Definitely brings a special element to the team, who I think in 3 years going from one win to now they're 9-3. They're in a significant. They're in a decent bowl game. Hunter beat Genty by 214 points, the closest vote since 2019 when Ingram beat Toby Gerhart. Again, I don't know who that guy is.
Toby Gerhart was a white running back from Colgate.
28 points.
You don't know Toby Gerhart?
Where's he at?
Where'd he go? He went to Stanford.
No, where's he at?
Stanford. That's right, Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd he go? He went to the NFL. He ran for a bunch of touchdowns. He was a touchdown runner.
White dude, right? He was a white dude, wasn't he?
Yeah. Of course he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember
You getting Gerhart confused with touchdown Tommy Riddell?
No.
Did Gerhart do anything? Where'd Gerhart play in the NFL?
I don't know about that part.
Oh, okay. I thought when you said a touchdown machine, I was referring to.
No, he was a touchdown machine in college.
Yeah,
I don't think he made it in the NFL. I don't think Gerhart made it in the NFL.
He was first with the Vikings.
Oh, he was? But didn't get to play.
Yeah. He was faster than Najee Harris.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Doesn't take much.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
He played 82 games, 1,600 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
Okay.
Sounds about Najee-ish.
Oh my god.
Najee gets 1,000 yards every season.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he does.
easy. There's 16 games. There's 17 games. That's
It's
easy.
not, to be honest with you, it's not that easy. You believe it or not, there's not that many running backs that get 1,000 yards.
Man,
Not anymore.
all you got to
Not
average is
today's
60 yards a
NFL.
game. 60
But in
yards a
today's
game,
NFL,
man. Yeah.
60, like 66.
Today's NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there should be a new marker, like maybe 1,300 yards. Or some
Yeah.
shit.
So wait, Watson, are you a Harris supporter?
I you know what I am? I like the system we got as far as the 2 running back system. One running back is not going to carry it anymore.
And I agree with that. And guess what? And guess what? Two running backs
complement each other. I think
and
they complement each other.
And guess what? 2 running backs can get to the hole and through it.
Who?
It's going to be. You ain't going to like this answer, but it's Warren and it's Patterson. Oh man, Patterson!
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
please.
Stop.
He's through that
Have
hole.
you watched that man? Have you watched him
Patterson's
run?
slower than he's slower than
He's
Najee.
slower.
Well, how's he get upfield faster and get more yards per carry?
Get up faster where?
Where?
Okay. When he gets the going, he's rolling. Najee Harris can get the going and he ain't going nowhere.
I definitely believe Patterson and both Warren hit the hole faster than Najee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why Patterson returns.
Once Patterson gets going, once he gets going, he's going.
I know Mike
looks slow. Huh? For me?
I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see what happens. You know, Patterson's not. I don't know if they're not going to bring him back.
They're not. They're
probably not.
They're not.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Najee because at the end of the day, fellas,
they got to bring him back. They're going to bring him back. They're going to bring
him back. For what? Watson, he stinks.
Why do you think he stinks?
What do you mean? Sizzle. Everybody, let me say this. When Warren gets the ball and gets to the hole, he's already he's like 3-4 yards gone. Like he never gets caught like right there at the line. How is it that the smallest guy can get through, but the fat guy can't?
The one thing I think of
different running style.
There's a big difference between them.
Najee has almost 900 yards. He's averaging 3.9 a carry. If he gets
that's bad.
No, that's not bad. 3.9 a carry is not bad.
How many games have we played?
Listen, 3.9 plus 3.9 plus 3.9. First down.
How many games have we played, Schedule?
We played 14 games so far.
Yeah, so 900 yards is easy. How many does Saquon Barkley have?
That's
you're
comparing apples and
you
oranges.
can't compare that. You can't compare that. Look, the Steelers have a 2 running back system, and I like that 2 running back system that they have. I like it. I think they complement each other because then what happens is you can get one to pound, you get one that hits the hole faster, obviously, and he gets through it, and then you go with another different speed. Like you can keep switching that up. And it keeps defenses off balance because when you get one guy in there, you get a bead on him. But when you start switching it up, especially on their 2 different styles, now you can't get a bead on that. I like it. Now, you know, with Najee, I think as long as he has a compliment, he will be fine.
In theory,
what the price is for next year, I don't know. But I'm only going to willing to pay for so much, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to give him the same amount of money. You don't get a raise. You get the same because you're average, brother. Hubbard has more yards than him.
I want to rewind, though. I want to rewind before we go down that steal it rabbit hole because it is a rabbit hole, to tell you the truth. Let's go back to the college stuff that I want to talk about. Hey, Chops, who's the better pro 5 years down the road? Ashton Genty or Travis Hunter?
I like Genty. When I even think of receiver, I don't even think Hunter is the best receiver in his conference. I like the boy McMillan. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, McMillian or whatever, from Arizona State, if we're going just in that conference. I don't think your boy Hunter is big enough that he's going to stop a DB or stop a receiver from getting in his route. I don't think he's big and strong enough to contest receivers when they go up. I don't think he's big and strong enough. If he's playing now, it'll help him a little bit now better because you can't touch it all if you're on defense. So if he plays offense, he'll do a little better at receiver. He talks about he wants to play both ways. He played both ways in the Big 12 because there's no defense in the Big 12. There's none. There's a reason there's none. So again, great that he was able to do all that. And yes, you had a great year and you're athletic. I don't see him being able to do that in the Big 10. I don't see him being able to do that in the SEC. And when he gets to the NFL, we'll see. We'll see. Genty, we can say he didn't play against anybody. Genty still went for like $120 or $130, something outrageous in 2 or 3 TDs against Oregon, in Oregon.
Oregon doesn't have a good defense.
Genty's the root. Hold on now. But at some point when Oregon, they should have lost to Ohio State, but everybody else they played was legit. And we know they have a rough road in this playoff. But I think Oregon's a legit team. I think Oregon is a legit team, an athlete for athlete, big man against big man. I would say we think Oregon has more 4 and 5 stars guys on their team than Boise State does. Genty still got off knowing he was the only one. He still got off in Oregon.
The other thing about Genty, though, is this. He led his team to the college football playoffs. Now, whether they win or not is a whole other ball of wax. But
he's the only one to stop, and he's still going off.
You can't name another guy on the Boise State offense. Yeah, probably the defense as well, but you can't. And it was all on Genty. He questionably had a top 3 all-time rushing season in NCAA history. I like his makeup. I'm so indifferent, though, because I've read so much more about Hunter since he won this award. I don't think he's a two-way guy. I think Rasheem put it out maybe when we were chatting it up, but I think he's more of a returner as well as a defensive player. And I also think maybe a couple of gimmicks with him on offense, something like that, maybe some sort of package. But Genty, I could see him going to a team and bringing back the bell cow running back. I could see that.
See, Phyllis, here's the thing which I don't understand how the NFL got to this, and we understand it's a copycat league. From here on out, they no longer value running backs. The NFL no longer values running backs. You don't think that Derrick Henry made a huge difference this year for the Ravens? We see Saquon is making a huge difference. We can say whatever we want, and I don't know if it's because of the backs, the O-line. Nobody's fearing our Steelers' running game. They're not. Even when we need a 4th and a yard, 4 and 2, 3rd and 2, it's hard for us to get those yards, whether it's our running backs or O-lines. And I'm hoping we can go back to the days where we realize running backs are extremely, extremely valuable. Extremely. But for some reason, everybody wants to say, we want the 2-headed system. We want this. We want that. The Lions are doing pretty well because they had Gibb and Montgomery's down, so hopefully Gibb can pull up the thing. But when you're thinking of some of the best, whether it's Barkley, whether it's like the running games and you're fearing who you fear, I can't name you any running backs by committee now that are doing well.
I don't think anyone doubts that, Chops. I don't think anyone denies the fact that they're valuable. The problem is their career length of career is only 2.5 years. And so if you can't put all the money on one running back, you got the bell cows like Barkley and the guy in Baltimore. You got that, but you don't.
But that's why they're saying the
passing league, so they're not going to put all their eggs in one basket.
But that's why they're saying that the running backs are no longer valuable. Let's not forget, Adrian Peterson was the last back to get a big contract. They also gave McCaffrey, who McCaffrey should have never gotten one because he wasn't healthy anyway. But before that, we are putting all this money. Now they talk about how valuable quarterbacks are. Do you realize your boy Goff had over 500 yards of total offense and 5 touchdowns and lost in the Super Bowl? The greatest passing Super Bowl was by Brady in a loss. When your boy, what's his name, last week, Jameson, or 2 weeks ago, he had over 500 yards passing and 4 touchdowns, but he still lost. Football is the ultimate team. Football is the ultimate team sport. Yet when they say this, there's one position that is more valuable than the other. I don't get that. I just don't get that.
Well,
I don't get that.
You know, anytime Ben Roethlisberger threw for 500 yards, it was in a loss. He never won a game that he threw for 500 yards. I want to know what changed the dynamic of the NFL. Does this go back to when Miles Davis started running that run and shoot stuff with 4 wide, and then it transitioned that direction? Is it because linemen are more pass blocking and not as gritty as they used to be down in the hole to push the running game? You know, I'd love to see somebody go ahead and draft 5 linemen that are just going to kick your ass and go back to like a fucking full house backfield.
Oh, man.
Just go ahead and get it. You know, with these athletic quarterbacks today, imagine running the option like you used to run, Coach Waddy, with these big athletic quarterbacks now. Like, it would be pretty insane. So, yeah, I love the thoughts on – I really love you guys' thoughts on Hunter and Genty. It's going to be fun, I think. This is going to be something really fun to watch over the next several years, these two guys. I'm more excited to see how they do in the league as opposed to what we've seen lately, because it's always been quarterbacks. One of you said it. It's always been quarterbacks that are sitting in there, those 4 guys. Now it's changed, and I'm excited for that. So, hey, let's take a look at the college football predictions, fellas. Interestingly enough, you know, we've got some tough roads for some teams that, you know, maybe shouldn't be as tough of a road, but they are. And we've got some teams that necessarily have an easy road, and I don't think they should have an easy road. So, Chops, go ahead.
Well, first off, this is the NCAA, being the NCAA in men's college football. For some reason, I don't know why it takes them so long to get it. Whether it was D2, Division III, NAIA, they all had playoffs long before Division I college football had. Now they are having the playoffs, and they weren't smart enough to reseed like every other division, every other level does. There's no way. How do you, as in Oregon, the number 1 seed, basically from wire to wire, they were up there all season. Now they have the hardest road to go to get to the championship because the NCAA is not reseeding. You have to reseed after each round. Everybody knows that. If you win and you've earned that, you play the lowest seed in the next round. That's not what the NCAA is doing. And you mean to tell me, if all the money these cats are making sitting in that room, nobody thought about that?
Fellas. They potentially could play the lowest seed if without reseeding. Ohio State's 8, Tennessee's 9. Okay, if Ohio State wins and all the other lower seeds than them lose, then Ohio State will be the lowest. So
hold on,
it is reseeded to that point, but not everyone else.
But you're talking ifs. If fifths were about to, we don't, you know, you can't do it that way. You can't be based on ifs. It should automatically be, we know who's in the first round. Then after the second round, the lowest team is going out to Eugene. You know what I mean? Or wherever the second round is playing. I just think it should be automatically. And you're right, Sizzle, if everything works out that way, then they're playing. But hold on, no, because it still wouldn't be, because who is ever, if hypothetically number 12 upsets 5 or whatever it is, that wouldn't be going to Eugene, because I don't know the bracket, how it's set up. But I think and honestly, Penn State has the easiest road. If they beat SMU, then it'd be Boise State. Now, I'm only saying easiest road on paper because of the conference they play in and who the teams are.
Let's pick our games. Instead of getting into easy roads, let's pick some games. How about that? Because I agree with you. Everything The first game up is what? Tennessee and
Ohio State.
No, Indiana.
The first game is Friday. Indiana, Notre Dame.
Okay, well.
See, I'm looking at the bracket. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was looking at the bracket, fellas. That's all.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just do the first couple of rounds, because then we'll be having a show before we get into the semis and the finals. So, Sheen, who you like in the Indiana Notre Dame game?
Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Indiana.
Okay. All right. Waddy, who you like?
Indiana.
Okay. Chops, who you like?
Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame.
Dude, for the Signettis, I'm going with Indiana.
Okay.
I saw his plaque up at IUP, He's going to take it out to IU, and he's going to take down Notre Dame at the Horseshoe.
Okay.
The Horseshoe.
I'm going with you, Chops. I'm riding Notre Dame because I like Freeman.
Yeah.
And I think Riley Leonard played some really good football the second half of the year.
He did.
I really
he did.
do. I do like him. So
Yeah.
let's jump down to SMU and Penn State. Does anybody think that SMU has a chance?
Yeah, they have a chance, but they're not going to win.
Yes. I'm going Penn State, but SMU's got some speed, but I'm going Penn State.
They got a
Me too.
chance. But
Same thing.
You're going Penn State,
Penn State.
Sheen? Waddy's going Penn State.
Yeah.
Okay. Sis, who you going?
yeah, let's go PSU.
Okay. Guess what, fellas? I'm gonna just kind of stir it up, and I'm gonna go SMU with an upset.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that speed. I don't know what the field conditions are going to be like. I don't know what it's going to be like there that day, but I think if it's a dry field and SMU comes out fast, it's.
I'm going, and Mark, you make great points. I'm going because of the environment, not even so much the weather. I think Beaver Stadium is going to be rocking. I don't think SMU has been in that environment this year. I think that's going to be the difference. That's what I'm going with. That's why I'm thinking the speed's going to be neutral, like just the environment.
Fellas, before we pick the next couple games, ESEN, one of our networks were on. Just breaking news: Mike Vick was named the head football coach at Norfolk State. Any thoughts on that?
That's his area. He grew up in that area.
Home. Yeah, welcome home.
He grew up in that area, so I'm interested to see what kind of talent he gets there.
757, baby.
Hampton Roads, right?
Yes,
sir. Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
I got a girl that I teach with, and it just struck me funny yesterday because I was talking to Sis about this. She's married to a guy named Vic, and he's from that area. So I'm wondering if that's his cousins or something. Just never asked her. I got to ask her tomorrow when I see her. I always see her in the morning. So kind of interesting, but
I'm sure it is. It's like Aliquippa down there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. All right, let's jump over Tennessee and Ohio State. Tennessee and Ohio State.
I'm going Ohio State by 6.5.
All right.
Good, because they're favored by 7.5, and I'll take OSU as well.
Okay.
Because if not, I think they will crucify Day right out.
Well, he'll get fired. He'll get fired. He will get fired. Waddy, who you going with?
Well, I'm going with Tennessee.
Okay.
I think after that Michigan loss, I really don't know what type of Ohio State team you're going to get. That I'm telling you, that loss was devastating not only for them but the fan base. I don't think they recouped on that thing yet. I'll have to see.
Here's how much they haven't recouped. The kid that was supposed to start at quarterback for them next year, I'm drawing blank on his name, went into the porthole.
Yeah,
he went into the porthole.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, something's not right. Something's not right.
Sheen, who you like?
Just gave it to you, baby. You ain't hear it?
To Tennessee.
Tennessee, man. I'm an SEC lover. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so torn on this one. You know what? I think I'm riding the underdogs as it is, except for Notre Dame.
Come on over.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tennessee too. I really am. Last one has the bottom seed and Texas, right? Clemson's the bottom seed. Am I correct?
Yeah, they're 12. Texas is 5. Texas is getting 12. I'm sorry, giving 12. Sorry. That's on Saturday at 4 p.m. I guess I won't be watching that game because the Steelers are on.
Steelers are on. Yep.
Who has Texas? Hey y'all, who has Texas beat this year?
They really haven't beat anybody.
I'm still going with Texas over Clemson.
But you know what? Clemson got lucky. Clemson got lucky. They really did.
This Texas is a team with a lot of NIL guys on it. I'm interested to see how your boy Dabo does, and if he changes his mind. If they don't look good, will he change his mind on the portal?
Okay. He already did. He went into the portal. He got somebody, a wide receiver from somewhere.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was real good.
From Alabama.
Yep. Yep.
Is that who it was? Yeah.
Alabama.
So he didn't know. Yeah. So he dipped in there already. I think he realizes I gotta go into there, to compete with some of these other guys or whatever. But
who's Ryan Williams going to sign with?
Hey,
go ahead, Waddy. I'm sorry.
I'm going to go with Texas. I think the better athletes are on that side of the field.
Okay.
To answer your question, who did they beat? They beat Michigan. You could say what it is. Mississippi State. I'm just trying to pull out some games here. Florida. And they lost to Georgia twice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who'd they beat? Nah.
Yeah. So, Sis, who you ride with?
Oh, put me on the Longhorns bandwagon.
Hook 'em horns, baby. Hook 'em horns. Chops, who you got?
I'm going Texas. Texas.
Sheen,
I'm going with the chopper. I'm going with the chopper. Texas.
Okay. Hey, that's the only one, fellas, that we did a clean sweep in. That's the only game we did a clean sweep. Now, Oregon, second round, okay? Winner of Ohio State and Tennessee. Does the winner go on of that game against Oregon, or does Oregon knock them off?
Oregon, knock them off.
I'm telling you what, big fellas, if
I don't know.
that will be played in a neutral site, right?
It's going to be played at the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl.
Yeah, so it'll be played in a neutral site.
Prudential, sorry.
So it'll be played in a neutral site. Let's not forget, Ohio State basically had a meltdown when they lost that to Oregon. They had a chance to kick the winning field goal, and they just totally bumbled that last play. I'm thinking I'm going to Ohio State now. When it gets there, I'm going to Ohio State and getting their come ups. They're getting their get backs.
Okay. Sheen, who you like? Because you took Tennessee. Does Tennessee beat Oregon?
Tennessee takes out Oregon.
Okay. Let me see. Sis, you took Ohio State.
I think Oregon will beat Ohio State.
Okay.
Waddy,
you took Tennessee.
Come on, Waddy. Come on, Waddy. Oh, come on. You jumped out
I'm going Oregon too.
All right.
I am. Now, let's go Clemson, Texas, kind of going backwards. We all took Texas. Texas against ASU.
And that'll be here.
Where, the ATL?
Yeah, I believe in the chick label. Yeah, man. I'm going to go Texas. Indoor, I just think Texas. They're too good.
Arizona State.
Yeah.
Watson.
Come on. Arizona State shouldn't even be in this.
Sis?
Penn State.
No, we're at Texas and ASU.
Are you drinking?
Wrong game, buddy.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to go with Texas.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, Texas and ASU. I'm going to go Texas, too. Let's jump up to the Indiana-Notre Dame game. Sheen, you went with Indiana. Indiana versus Georgia.
Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia.
Is anybody saying that Notre Dame or Indiana can beat Georgia?
No.
Talk to see that bicep with the Georgia tattoo on it.
Oh, that dude's an idiot. He's an idiot. Waddy, did you say one of those teams could beat Georgia?
No.
So we're all riding Georgia in that game.
Indoors in Louisiana in that indoor track? Yeah, man.
At the Sugar Bowl. All-state Sugar Bowl.
How about this, fellas? I'm the only one who took SMU. SMU and Penn State, and the rest you took PSU. Either one of them is playing Boise.
That's going to be a good one.
Can Boise beat either of those teams?
Where's that being played at, by the way?
No.
That's the VRBO Fiesta Bowl.
No.
Is that in Arizona?
That's in Arizona.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Genty does nothing against either one.
No, Genty will
That's
get
where
hit.
that's my upset of the whole thing
will be Boise State over Penn State. Battle of the states.
Well, it wouldn't be really an upset because Boise State's 3. But I'm feeling you name-wise and program-wise.
Yeah.
Who you got?
You know who's going to be favorite.
Man,
so the rest of you guys got Penn State.
I'm going Penn State, man. I'm going Penn State over Boise.
Sheen?
Yes. I don't believe in Genty.
Okay.
Oh, man, that's crazy. I don't think his defense can stop anybody, but he's going to get his. Even if they play Penn State, he's going to get his.
So you saying, you saying what, 150?
He won't have 150.
What are you, 106?
Hold on, 150.
Then that ain't getting his.
150.
Yeah, 150 is getting his.
100. No, if you tell me a back from Boise State even gets 100 from a top FBS school, Power 5 program and ranked program, that's doing work. From Boise, he's getting at least a buck and a tutty or two. He's going to get at least 100. I'm telling you, he's going to average at least 4.2 to 4.5 yards.
Penn State gives up a lot of points.
Okay.
Yes.
They give up a lot of points.
Yeah, man. I just don't know Boise's defense. I know Penn State's offense is not phenomenal.
They're going to let the defensive backs cover the receivers, and everyone else going to key on him, and that's where it's going to shut down.
I think we'll find out. Going to go both ways.
I want to hear what Waddy has to say, though. He said Boise State is going to be the upset. Tell us why.
I think if you can control the ball, meaning running the football, I think that's going to, as somebody just said, I'm not sure who it was, they're going to put everybody on that line, and now that's going to allow for some big plays to come downfield. You make those big plays, guess what happens? Now you got to back up out of that box.
Who you making them big plays to?
Now it's time to run the football. I think if you keep them off balance, guess what? That's in favor of Boise State.
I heard what you say. I heard both of y'all, but I don't know who they getting it to besides him.
To be honest with you, Sheen, that's our ignorance for not even taking a peep at them. You know, like we should have at least taken the peep.
No. They don't deserve to be here. I ain't looking at that. I don't want to look at that.
Yeah, they do. They deserve to be there. It's okay. It's fine.
Hey, I get what you're saying too, Coach. Penn State, they give up 35.2 points a game, over 200 yards a game. I'm same for the season.
Over 200. That's bad. So 210 is bad.
Rushing.
Okay. Hold on. You're absolutely right. But you're playing against better teams that are loaded.
Exactly.
Now, again, like I said, Genty's still going to get his. He's still going to get his. I just don't think Boise State is going to be able to stop Warren. That's a bad white boy. Warren is that cat is tough, man. I don't think Boise State can stop him.
He's Penn State.
Yeah, man. He's nice. He's nice. I don't think I don't think Boise State can stop him. And at some point, Boise State will have to pass at some point. And I just think the Penn State corners, they're not great. They're not great, but I think they'll be a little more athletic than whatever Boise State has been.
Coach Smith, if you're listening, I didn't say that. That was chops.
Do you think this game will be close?
I give it till 2.5, 3/4, then Penn State will pull away.
Okay, all right. Because if it's close, then it comes down to coaching. Who do you go with? Franklin?
Okay.
Hold on, though. But when you upset,
I'm asking a question. I don't know.
Hold on. When you're upset with Franklin and what he's not doing, fellas, let's be honest. It's not always about the X's and the O's. Sometimes it comes down to the Jimmies and the Joes. He doesn't have the recruits at Penn State when he's losing against the Ohio States. He just doesn't have the guys. He has better athletes. I gotta believe he has better athletes.
I disagree too. I
wholeheartedly disagree.
Hold on.
He got the athletes. He's had them for the last couple of years.
Hold on. You're going to tell me you'd rather – hold on, fellas. You would rather have his roster than Day's roster at Ohio State.
I'm telling you, he's had top 10.
Hold on. Let me tell you. Let me hold on. Let me enlighten y'all. So there's a kid from Pittsburgh. He's at Fort Cherry. I think he's either 4 or 5 star. He's committed to Pitt. I watched him play. Yeah, he ain't it. He ain't going to be able to do nothing with nobody from Ohio State. He ain't with nobody from Michigan.
Fellas, it has been his curse, his as in Franklin, has been Michigan and Ohio State, who were
Better
always
athletes.
and they're always up top. Normally now again, Barbara, I don't get on him like you and some other cats I know, Franklin, but he's never be his thing is he can't beat a top 5 team. He can't beat a top 5 team. And even I love Penn State, not as much as Pitt, but they're a Pennsylvania school, so I love them. We love Warren, that dude, Cat Warren, but I'm not looking at anybody else on Penn State as you got some monster. Well, the defense, they got that cat on defense, but
the running back is nice, Singleton.
But not when you're comparing them against Ohio State and Michigan. I just don't think they line up. I don't think they line up. So I think we're going to see a difference. Genty will get his because of his speed, but I think they're just going to be too big for.
Here you go. Sizzle told you they scored. They gave up 35 points a game, 200 yards rushing. Let me give you their schedule. They beat West Virginia 34-12 to open the season. Then they played Bowling Green. They only beat Bowling Green 34-27. Then they played Kent State. Okay, they blew them out 56-0. Then they went to Illinois. Then Illinois came to
Beaver State.
Penn State. Yeah, they beat them 21-7. UCLA 27-11. Okay. 33-30. They should have lost to USC. They won in overtime. USC.
Hold on, fellas. Also, let's remember that week, Penn State was that at Penn State or was that at USC?
It's at USC.
And because that was it, they were the only team at that week, like 4 or 5 weeks into the season, the teams that had went from West Coast to East Coast or East Coast to West Coast that had won. All the other teams that went from East Coast to West Coast or West Coast to East Coast had lost. That was impressive to me that those cats went on that short week at the way
USC was awful. USC was awful. Wisconsin, they beat Wisconsin in Wisconsin 28-13. They lost Ohio State 13-20. They beat, this is a decent win, 35-6 in State College. They beat Washington 35-6. They went out and smacked the shit out of Purdue 49-10. They barely beat Minnesota, who was a team this year, 26-25. I don't even want to talk about the Maryland score because, let's face it, Maryland is awful. They beat them 44-7. They lost to Oregon 45-37. Okay?
Yeah.
So where's those 32 points a game coming from, Sizzle? Because I only heard it once.
Yeah. To a couple times. But...
And fellas, let's not forget, keep it a buck. Didn't Aller throw a pick 6 against Ohio State? I could have swore he threw a pick 6 and they lost 13-20 or something. I could have sworn he threw.
I also think he's part of their problem, but that's just me.
Mark.
And I listen to other people say he's coming back for a 5th year. He's coming back for another year, whatever.
He can't get drafted. He's not good enough to go.
Hey, when the kid that just transferred out of there, I think he's a paisan. When he transferred out of there, he hurt that program.
No, I don't knock him for the same reasons you do, Barbara, and some other cats, but this bothers me about Frank, and I'll knock him. You can't, with Penn State alumni or whatever, you can't get good or better NIL money to bring in a better QB. He hasn't had a good QB
since McSorley.
Man, and McSorley was soft. Yeah,
But here's the thing with Franklin.
He wasn't that great. But
he frankly considers himself a QB whisperer. At least when I saw him speak 6 different times, and he's not. Because if he was, those guys would function at a different
play
level.
out of decent quarterbacks.
Yeah, he might. If he whispering, he might want to talk a little louder because
Hey, let's move on, fellas. That's we got our picks in for the first 2 rounds. It'll be fun to see how it plays out.
Got a question, fellas. First round only. Most interesting game and why? Which one are you most interested in seeing and why? First round only.
I got 2.
Penn State, SMU for me.
Actually.
Hold on. Go ahead, Waddy.
Penn State, SMU. The Penn
That's
State,
the one you're most
SMU,
interested in.
because well, I got 2 because there's that Tennessee Ohio State game really does interest me because I need to see which Ohio State team is going to show up because I don't know if that Michigan loss. Like I said, I think that thing may have devastated them mentally.
I think they're going to come back pissed. I think they're going to be pissed. And it's hard when you got rivalries. You got to throw a lot of that out the window. I think they're going to be pissed.
But
what about you?
I hear
Barbara?
what you're saying. But when you have guys that have entered the portal and you're still in the playoff thing, that concerns me.
There's something going on in the locker room.
But hold on, though.
Hold
on. Don't forget, we are now in the me era. These athletes can't contact schools. Schools have to contact these athletes. Exactly, Barber. So when these guys are offering them money, they don't care. You just saw that. What was that? Was he a linebacker or something from Florida who put in his NIL deal? He had to play so many plays. He was asking for this. And they're like, dude,
but you're talking about a top program in college football. That NIL money should be able to be equaled by Ohio State. So to me, that I'm telling you, something's not right in that locker room.
These guys don't care.
If Texas offers you this, then I can offer you that. It shouldn't be about money when it comes to Ohio State, because if you get the money, whatever Texas gives you, Ohio State should be able to give you. Whatever Penn State gives you, they should be able to give you. They can match
you're right.
money.
You're right if they want to, but Ohio State says we're Ohio State. We can get other guys in the pipeline. But we growing up loved certain schools, and we might have had ties to schools. These kids don't have ties to school. So even if you are playing at Ohio State, look at guys. We saw starters at University of Georgia, powerhouse every year. The safety dipped. Guys now are who's offering me the most. And yes, I played at Ohio State, and I played at a high level. Yes, Ohio State is a prestigious a prestigious university. But if I don't care if there's another school that is offering them more, they're going there. These kids don't have any ties.
So Quinn Ewers said this week.
That's how they do it. I understand it, but
Quinn Ewers said this week that he may stick around for another year in college football because
he's moving.
He was offered money to go somewhere else. He knows the writing's on the wall with Arch Manning.
Yes.
He did not get the job done against Georgia, who feels a lot of NFL talent. So he probably evaluated the fact that he wasn't going to be that good in the league next year. So he got offered money to go somewhere else. Big money. So we'll see.
When you're a senior or a senior and you graduated and you're going for your 5th year and you do the NIL thing and you leave, I have no problem with that, because 9 times out of 10, you got a young guy behind you that's probably going to play anyhow. So yes, I get it. You probably have to move on.
And you know what, Waddy?
Those guys, I understand.
Ewers came out of high school early too, by the way.
Yeah, I remember that. He went to Ohio State
early. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, let's move on to the NFL. I just want to talk 2 games. How many of you paid any attention to Bills and Lions? Because the Bills actually waxed that ass pretty good.
I can't say that.
I'm actually with Chops on this one. I can't really.
Don't forget, 17 defensive players are on IR for Detroit. So we're supposed to say Detroit, and I love Campbell, but I think that onside kick when you didn't need it, I think it bit him in the ass. He does a lot of that, and I still think, I'm just putting it on wax now, Campbell's mindset is what's going to cost Detroit from winning the Super Bowl this year. When he goes for it on 4th, when he doesn't kick field goals, and going for that onside kick.
At first, I thought they were going to get to the Super Bowl, but with 16, 17 guys out, I don't know.
I'm going to say, that's what I was saying. You don't think the injuries are going to prevent them from making it?
They lost 3 guys.
They
lost 3 guys this weekend.
But with that, Barber?
They lost 3 guys this weekend.
Yes.
2 on the defensive side of the ball, and they lost David Montgomery.
David
Montgomery is going to be the most significant loss for them.
You're right, Dream, and it will. But the Bills look to be one of the best teams in the AFC, and they were with them run for run with a terrible defense. So their offense can score. So again, but nobody plays defense. Let's not get into that. But if I think it will ultimately come down to a decision that Campbell makes. I don't care if it's in the NFC Championship game. I don't care if it's in the wild card. They won't play in the wild card, but it doesn't matter. It'll be a decision Campbell makes. Living with the gamble, he's got the guts of a gambler. I get that. But I think it's going to be him making a decision. Everybody's like, dude, why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Anybody who plays for Detroit between now and the end of the season that doesn't need to win for a purpose, just play them. You know what I mean? Like, just play them. You don't have to put anybody out there, because I think somebody out there probably has the formula on how to beat Detroit. Honestly, losing David Montgomery on that offense is going to be significant. He's a workhorse in short yardage. He takes the burden off of Gibbs, and Gibbs as a workhorse.
Gibb is nice though. Gibb is nice though.
I didn't say he wasn't, but he's not a workhorse. They had a
Yeah.
two-system back, and Montgomery beat the hell out of you physically, and then let Gibbs come in and run the ball in some open space. That's going to make a difference.
I don't know if I agree with you sitting these guys because they're running for a first-round bye. They're 12-2, so are the Eagles.
Well, he said if you get to a game that doesn't mean anything. Barber said if they get to a game that doesn't mean anything, because right now you got to play them. But also you got to play some of these guys because they're just not good enough, so they need the reps. But you are risking injury. It's tricky. But also in the same token, I've got to believe the Detroit front office has somebody out there scouring high and low, looking everywhere for more guys to try to fill a roster spot. Have to be. You know what I mean? Because
Steelers just brought Medley back.
They got the Bears, Niners, and Vikings.
Bears, Niners, and Vikings. They play absolutely no one for any value except Vikings. Bears stop. Bears are done.
And I don't know if you realize this. That's the last game of the season. But Barber, do you guys realize that if the Vikings win out the rest of the way, they are in line for number 1 seed in the NFC. They snuck in quietly. Everybody is looking at the Eagles and the Lions. Peep it out. They are in line. The Vikings are in line, and it comes down to they play the Lions. They hold basically their own fate in their hands that they can end up with the number 1 seed in the NFC. Now,
I'll be curious to see if they.
And the Vikings play the Seahawks, Green Bay, and then obviously the Lions last game.
The Seahawks don't have Geno Smith. They could lose those last 2 games.
Yes, and coming down to Green Bay in their division and the Lions, that's how they could end up getting in number 1 seed.
Okay, so speaking of Philly, we all watched it. We all sat there and watched it. The Steelers and the Steelers. I said it. The Steelers against Philly. They haven't won, Aaron, since 1965. Steelers had a lot of key injuries. George Pickens still out.
Seriously,
Larry Ogunjobe, Deshaun Elliott.
Barber,
that made a difference. You can't say that didn't make a difference.
Barber, here's the thing, and I get that, but when just like we just said, the Lions have 17 guys just on one side of the ball from IR, and they're still competing. I love my Steelers. This is another time when, as much as we laughed at Campbell when he got introduced as the coach, we'll bite knees and this, that, whatever. Those cats at Detroit will truly run through a wall for that dude. They are playing balls out for Campbell. This in Philly last week was another case to me when the chips were on the line against another good team. Tomlin's guys didn't show up. They just didn't show up. They were flattened. So a lot of ways, and I've said this for years on Tomlin's guys, a lot of times when it's pushed to shove, they just don't show up. They just don't show up.
I don't buy it. I buy the offense being stagnant. I have no idea why they ran the toss so much. I'll buy that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being a difficult time to pass on those guys because they didn't have any receivers that they were, let's say, go to. Why is Mike Williams not being used? That's the $1 million question. Now, you can't tell me he doesn't run. You can't tell me he doesn't know at least half the playbook.
Oh, you can't just say, "Hey, Mike, go in and run this route."
Yeah. I mean, you can't convince me that. All right. What my problem was is, and this is bad, but my problem starts with the fight. There have been clear clips of Slay and Quinion Mitchell throwing punches. Not one Steeler threw a punch. Not one.
Nope.
And the Steelers got penalized 30 yards. There was a guy standing there watching it. He was 5 feet away. 5 feet away. He did nothing about it. Okay. 30 yards.
And that's the difference of us being on the 3-yard line versus going way, way back too.
Right.
This is why I'm not feeling so bad about that loss.
That's how I feel, Rasheen. I don't feel that. I feel like they did the things in the second half that they could have made a difference. Then you take this one, the head slap. They said that the punt was away. Coach Waddy sent us the still picture.
Yeah.
His leg was still bent, getting ready to hit the ball. And you see freaking Hayward's head getting slapped. How can you sit there and say that? How can you literally, it's right in front of a guy. The line judge, he's standing there looking at it. That's his job. That's his fucking job, fellas.
Well, it comes down to whether you want to believe it or not. When Waddy says the NFL is scripted. Because how do you blatantly miss those calls? How does Tomlin not show his ass and fight it? Why are we not seeing those?
Did you see Tomlin was angry? He was angry.
I did see. Hold on, fellas. I did see him say that. We haven't heard We haven't heard anything about that since. I haven't heard those guys were suspended. I haven't heard those refs suspended.
He's in the competition committee. He's at the top of the totem pole of the competition committee. He can't say shit.
Well, why doesn't he tell his team to start competing in the first freaking half?
Well, that's what I was going to say. We got to leave no doubt. That's the gist of that. We just
the Steelers haven't scored a touchdown the first drive this whole season.
Damn.
Hey, Darnell Washington, he drove that guy to the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
Was he able to do that or drive him out of bounds like that?
Yes, absolutely. He had that dude on roller skates.
He's allowed to do it, right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So the guy got mad.
Nothing illegal about the play.
How about Zach Frazier falling down as he's rolling over? He happens to kick the guy, but yet he leg whipped him. If you're going to leg whip a guy, your leg's going to come up in the air.
Yeah.
Your leg's going to come up in the air. You're not going to kick those ankles.
I'll give the refs that. I will, because if you're looking at it live, it might look like he is leg whipping. I'll give him that call.
That was the only one. I'm with Waddy on that one.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see it live, you probably look and say, "Oh," and then you throw the flag. Okay, I'll give you that. But the other ones, I cannot give you. How
about they called the penalty, 15-yard penalty, even though they still got the field goal out of it. They got you took a lot of time off the clock. They called a 15-yard penalty for covering the center. He got pushed into the center.
Oh, you saw the guy push him
by the guard.
You saw the guy push him. It happens.
He got blocked into him. Yeah, and it was. And
then this is the last one that I know people probably overlooked this. It didn't seem to be significant, but when TJ Watt got hurt on that play, he was rushing down inside, and Lane Johnson grabbed onto the inside of his shoulder pad and rode down with him. That was what happened to that guy. He was being impeded by a hold, and nobody even said a word about it. Go back and look at it. Like, you're right, Watson. You guys are all right for jumping on Waddy's bandwagon there. That shit was scripted. You knew the Philly was going to win. It was just supposed to be that way.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing. I remember our dad saying that, and old guys when we were kids, NFL's rigged, this, that, and whatever. And it was what it was, and whatever. But seriously, when you've had baseball guys suspended or banned for betting on their team, against their team, whatever have you, we've had NBA officials when Donta, he said they came out and how they were fixing the games. We've had pro basketball players. How can we say we've had NFL players bet on games?
NHL guys.
Yes. Fellas, how do we seriously sit there and say how can you sit there, anyone sit there and say fully guaranteed there's nothing rigged in sports and everything's on the up and up? How can at this day and age, how can we seriously? And that's why it's easier for me not to get mad during these games, because I realize there's more money at play and bigger things here than us, because there's no way you can sit there and watch Hayward get head slapped and you say, because you now have instant replay and you can still frame it and see that ball wasn't kicked. How do you watch that fight? And as you guys are talking, you see the gloves, the green helmet, all that, whatever, throwing punches, and we're going to call that on the Steelers? Fellas, how do you get there? And we honestly believe this is on the up and up. I'm not buying it. The price is too high. That's why it's hard for me to, when somebody says, no, it's all legit. No, man, I don't believe that anymore.
Well, I know Waddy thinks that the Steelers are going to lose to the Ravens. He thinks it scripts out like that, but 6.5 points tells me the Steelers win by a touchdown and an extra point. That's what it tells me.
Wow.
You can't win.
I see it come. This is the way I see it on how I think it's scripted. You got this game here. Steelers lose it. Now we're in a tie. Comes down to basically the last game of the season. We're playing Cincinnati. Who do the Ravens have?
Probably the Browns. I didn't even look.
Yeah, I'm not even
I
sure
didn't
who
even
they
look.
have.
I'll tell you in a second. They don't
think
have as tough a schedule as we do,
No.
but they will. Where the hell are they? Were they off this? No, they weren't off.
They played the
No.
Giants this week.
They will.
They're
They'll
not-
play the Browns. They'll play
they're
the
not
Browns.
Play the
involved.
Browns. So there you go.
They
The
play,
Browns already
yeah.
beat them in
they
Cleveland.
play
So
us, the Texans, and then the
Yeah.
Browns.
Yeah, so you see that, so then you got the us playing Cincinnati, them playing the Browns. Okay, and then let's see where everything.
And they
falls
play
at that
Christmas
point.
Day too.
Yeah. So what happens there? Do we win the division or we don't? Will be based upon, I guess, you're looking at the conference record, and that's what it'll probably come down to.
I do think the Steelers win this weekend when I saw 6.5 points.
Yeah,
I do. I really do. I believe
that's a lot of points, by the way. That's
a touchdown and an extra point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
We play the Ravens. Usually it's within 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this week,
Usually
it's
within
6.5.
Yeah. It's a lot.
I'm saying Steelers touchdown, extra point.
The Ravens, they're in Baltimore, so the Ravens are favored by 6.5.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Hey, let's move on to the last thing we want to talk about tonight, fellas. The NFL MVP. Right now, who you got, Waddy?
Well, it's hard to say who I got. I mean, I got Allen, Jackson, Barkley, Goff as my final 4. Right now, I probably see the league leaning towards Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chops?
It'll be, I'm not big on it, but I would go Allen too. Nobody plays defense, fellas. How do you throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns as Goff didn't lose? Nobody plays defense.
Who you got?
Najee Harris all day.
Okay.
There he goes.
G6, who you got?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I think this is probably his best year. But I don't know if they want to give it back to back to Lamar. Listen, Lamar compared to Josh Allen. Lamar 68% to 64 completion. 3,580 yards for Jackson to 3,395 yards. 34 touchdowns compared to 25. He only has thrown 3 interceptions to 5 for Allen. And his QB rate is 120 compared to 103. Now, we don't even need to say about the rushing yards. He has almost double. He has 743, and Allen has about 480. I don't.
But and you know what? I'm glad. I'm telling you
where the team ends up, which is unfortunate. But I think I think Lamar.
I'll be honest with you. If Sizzle hadn't told me and broken down those stats, I would have sworn that Allen is killing Lamar in every stat. The way you hear these announcers talk about him every week, I would have just assumed Allen.
And that's why I say Allen, who's going to win it. That's why I say who's going to win it is Allen. Because
perception rules the world, and the way they perceive Allen is ridiculous.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go Allen, and here's why. He's got Derrick Henry in the backfield with him. Lamar does, right? He's got him. He's got Mark Andrews as his tight end. He has better receivers now than Allen has. Allen lost all his receivers until he got Amari Cooper, who didn't start really playing ball until a couple of weeks ago when he figured shit out. Like, Allen's been running without a receiving core most of the year. It's not that I'm not going to give Lamar his props, but Allen didn't have shit. They got rid of everything in the offseason.
Okay. And it was easier to do that. And it was easier to do that because they don't play. There's no shutdown corners. There's no tough defense, especially in the AFC.
It doesn't matter. Well, okay, so then you're making the case against Lamar there, because if there's no shutdown corners or anything, then he should be able to throw for that kind of yardage and that lack of interceptions and things like that. You know,
but
no matter how you look at it, the Ravens went out and they enhanced what they felt. They enhanced their team with the guys they got. And the Buffalo Bills just got rid of guys. When Khalil Shakir is your number one guy as your receiver the first 8 or 9 games of the season, that's a fucking problem.
But Lamar's not known as a passing quarterback, and his passing numbers are better than Allen's. And
his numbers were better last year. His numbers were better last year.
That's my point. When you think of Allen, they're talking he is the golden boy. He's the guy. Meanwhile, when you think of Lamar, nobody. I don't know if people, I like Lamar, but most people will say, just start asking guys, who would you rather have, Lamar or Allen? Guys will say, if I'm starting a team, I'm taking Allen. When Lamar is doing and putting up better numbers, because perception rules the world. And in your boy,
Lamar's record this year?
He can't pass. That's what the perception is.
What is Lamar's record? What is Lamar's record?
That's his defense is terrible. His defense.
Answer my question. What's his record?
I don't know. But
9-5.
They're 9-5. What's Buffalo's record?
11-3.
Hold on.
And who Buffalo get rid of?
No, and I've been saying it for weeks. That is the defense. You realize they changed the rules. We're
talking about the MVP. We're talking about the quarterback. If they're 9-5, that means they lost 5 games, right? They lost 5 games to somebody.
So think about this.
Back to your corners.
Your boy just outplayed Allen and he lost because his defense gave it up like a freshman at prom. No team has given up more. No team has given up more points in the fourth quarter than the Ravens over the last 3 seasons. Lamar's not even in the field. They changed the rules in playoffs because Allen didn't get a chance because his defense gave it up to to Mahomes. That's why they changed it. So we're doing this on who's the most valuable. Lamar doesn't play defense. But what he's doing, what he can do with his position, not known as a passer, he's out passing your boy Allen. That's all I can do is ask you what you can do. What do you do? That's what you do. He's out playing Allen.
So you just made a case why Travis Hunter should have got the Heisman Trophy over Genty, but yet you said Genty's numbers and where he led his team to.
No, Phyllis, if you go back to
it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing.
No.
Same thing.
I said it first off. First off, you go back to our text. I've said there's no Heisman. You gave your boy Hunter, and I've always said, I'm not high on him. I am not high on Hunter. They gave him the Heisman because of what he did in a weak-ass conference going both ways. That's what they are impressed by. That is what they are impressed by. He to me is not better at his position than Genty is at his. He's not a better receiver than Genty is a running back. He's not a better D-back than Genty is a running back. Genty is better at his position than anybody else in the country is at theirs. That's who I would have given it to. But they're in all
his team to the playoffs, right?
Yes, that's why I said
right now, Josh Allen has a better record than Lamar. He's leading his team to the playoffs. In fact, his team could potentially be the top dog.
There's no other running back in the country that is doing what Gentry's doing. If there was another running back in the country that's doing what Genty's doing, I'm not up there cheering Genty's name. There's another quarterback in the league that's doing what Allen's doing.
There's more than one other quarterback. How about Mahomes? What's his record?
Yeah, but his numbers are trash. They're not winning because of Mahomes. We know that.
Who are they winning because of?
They won shit. They're not winning because of Mahomes. And them jokers scare me.
It's fine. That's why it's called a podcast, so we can debate that shit. Fellas, it's time to close this out. We're already overtime. Okay. Waddy, where do they find you at?
At Coach K Watt 10 on Threads.
There it is. Choppers, where they find you?
Man, come on, fellas. We're on the gram, Big Chop 79, on TikTok, Big Chops 824, on Facebook by my government, Michael Gregory Mills. Holla at your boy.
Hey, Chops, make sure you tell them about your show, your fight show.
Oh, yeah. Haymakers and submissions. Hey, last week I had a nice interview with Termite Watson. This week we will preview Usyk Fury 2. Usyk Fury 2 got it coming up Saturday night. Fellas, this Saturday is this coming 21st is a good night.
Killer day.
Weekend is a hell of a weekend for sports.
I got a party to go to. Shit.
Yeah, me too, Shane.
You're fighting this Saturday?
Yes, this Saturday you got college playoffs, you got football. This weekend is loaded.
You think you're fighting this Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do we find you, Sheen?
Everywhere. Next.
On Instagram and the X at 1T Youngie.
There you go. Hey, connect with us here on the Original Sports Podcast by checking out our pod page, podpage.com/Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maradei. T-Sizz is updating that son of a bitch as we speak. You can find us on Facebook, X, Snapchat at OSP with M&M. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at Original Sports Podcast. Shout out to all the other networks that we are on and joined in. Let's Talk Sports, Sideline Sports, ESEN, Elite Sports and Entertainment, as well as Manning Media and Peak One Sports. Don't forget, if you don't catch our show now, you can catch our show from 7 to 8 on Tuesday nights on Roku and EESP. Okay. Feel free to let us know if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions. Najee Harris. By emailing us at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com. Shout out to Steve Medley and Charlie Hodgson for doing our voice and music. We'll see you after the new year, everybody. Make sure you're watching all those sports, eating like a pig, and if you drink, have some good ones, okay? Everybody take care. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy everything. Have a good one, everybody. See you soon. Fun show tonight.